الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا بين يدي الساعة من يطع الله ورسوله فقد رشد ومن يعص الله ورسوله فإنه لا يضر إلا نفسه ولا يضر الله شيئا. أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وإن شر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار وإنما توعدون لواقع. أما بعد فأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله تعالى فإنه رأس التعب فأجمل له بالطلب. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as we are in the blessed month of Rabiul Awwal, the month where the world got blessed with the mercy to all of the worlds. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للعالمين. And notice how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say وما أرسلناك إلا رحمة للناس, but He said للعالمين, the same عالمين that we read in Surah Fatiha, Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. It is not one world or two worlds, but the whole universe. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is a mercy, which includes that he is a mercy, rahmah, for the insan, human beings, for the hayawan, for the animals, for the hasharat, the insects, for the jibal, mountains, for the clouds, the sahab, and everything that is there, everywhere. Our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ is a rahmah, mercy. So in this month for us brothers and sisters in Islam, we have the best example, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Ahzab, Surah 33 verse 21, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ. Indeed, certainly, verily for you there is in the example of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam a role model. For whom it is? لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ. Notice how Allah put a condition here. He's not role model for every Muslim, but the Muslim that desires Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Muslim that is looking forward to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. يَرْجُو اللَّهَ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ. You look forward to meeting somebody. When you're coming back after a long trip, a work trip or any other trip, and you're coming back home to your family, you're longing and yearning, desiring to meet your family after this firaq, after this separation for many days. You're longing, you're looking forward for that day. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, that not everyone who says La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah is there for them as a role model, because those people are just Muslim by name, lip service. You have to mean it. You have to put your life into it. You have to put your heart, your soul, your mind, your flesh, your blood, everything into it when you say, Bi abi wa ummi anta ya Rasulullah. This was the kalam, this was the metaphorical expression in Arabic language that the Sahaba, Ridwan Majma'in, daily said to Prophet Muhammad in Medina. Bi abi wa ummi anta ya Rasulullah. May my parents be sacrificed for you, ya Rasulullah. Which means what? That I am ready to sacrifice myself, my family, my parents, anything for the sake of Rasulullah. This is al-hubb al-haqiqi, the love of Rasulullah, not just lip service in the sense. And that is why Allah said, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ لِمَنْ كَانَ يَرْجُو اللَّهَ وَالْيَوْمَ الْآخِرِ. Whoever desires Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day. Why the last day? Think about it. Yawm al-Qiyamah is what? The day of Hisab. Yawm al-accountability. the day of questioning, the day of reckoning, the day that Allah will ask, did you really mean it when you said, I am an ummati of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? For there are countless ayats in the Quran that start with the word Ati'u Allah wa Ati'u Rasul. Ati'u Allah wa Ati'u Rasul. Obey Allah and obey the Messenger. Obey Allah, obey the Messenger. وَمَن يُطِعِ الرَّسُولَ فَقَدْ أَطَاعَ اللَّهَ. Allah says, whoever obeys the Messenger obeys Allah. In other words, our lives should be flooded with the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made a shart, a criteria, a condition in the Quran. He tells us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ. Say, O Muhammad sallallahu to these people, the Muslims, the people who say, La ilaha illallah, Muhammad Rasulullah. Tell them what? قُلْ إِن كُنْتُمْ تُحِبُّونَ اللَّهَ. If you really, really, sincerely, dearly, honestly love Allah, فَاتَّبِعُونِي, then follow the path of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Follow the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The one who is more in their measurement, metric measurement, whether it is a thermometer, a barometer, or some instrument that you want to measure how much someone is in the obedience of Allah and the love of Allah, just look at their personification, look at their adat and ahwal, their habits, their lifestyle. Is it closer and closer to the Sunnah of Habib Mustafa Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? The more someone is into the Sunnah of Rasulullah, the more closer they are to Allah. The more they love Allah. Because that is the criteria that Allah has put. That if you love Allah, فَاتَّبِعُونِي يُحْبِبْكُمُ اللَّهُ وَيَغْفِرْ لَكُمْ ذُنُوبَكُمْ. Allah will also love you and forgive your sins. What does it mean to follow the Sunnah of Rasulullah? When the Sahaba came to Aisha radiallahu anha, al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu anha, and they asked that tell us on the khuluq of Rasulullah. She did not go on to give a long sermon and a khutbah or waz or bayan. She just sufficed with two words, khuluquhu al-Qur'an. Khuluquhu al-Qur'an. His character is the Qur'an. He's a living, walking, mobile Qur'an. Every ayah you read in the Quran, you see in the lifestyle of Rasulullah. Every person he met, he touched their heart. Every person he interacted with, he melted their heart. They were so much magnetized with his personality and character that they were speechless. Even the haters who hated Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, even they acknowledged at the time of Taif, when he was ridiculed and humiliated, insulted and was bleeding profusely, even they acknowledged at that time that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been badly hurt. He has been offended by the people of Taif, the enemies. No matter what they did towards him, they could not deny one fact, that he is the messenger of Allah. Today in 2019, as we are living in this time and age, we should be the people who are the ambassadors of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We are the ambassadors of La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. People who we interact with, people who we meet with, whether it is at a mall, whether it is at a park, whether it's at a grocery store, whether it's at a convention, whether it is at your workplace, whether it's at your college or school or any place, wherever you interact with anybody, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has chosen us just like He chose Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. One of his name is Mustafa, from what? Istafa, which means what? To choose. Brothers and sisters, whether you accept this fact or not, those little boys and girls of the Islamic school sitting in the back, you were born and raised in this country, but your parents came here. And whether you accept this fact or not, you came here because Allah wanted you to be here. There were so many people, the day you applied for a visa to America, the day you applied for immigration to America, from whichever country you applied to, whether it was 50 years back or 5 days back, as soon as you landed here, know one thing for sure, you are chosen and handpicked and selected by Allah to be on this earth, on this land of opportunity, to be who? The ambassadors of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. People should be inspired by us. We should have a slogan, inspired by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, touched by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Everyone that we interact with, even if we meet with them for only 2 minutes at an airport, at a bus station, at a train station, at any junction, we meet someone for even a minute. When they go back home, they say, wow, that woman, that man was something. Who are they? Who are they? I feel energy, I feel something in my personality when I shook hands with them, or I met them, or I talked to them. That is being called touched by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The energy, the noor of Iman, the noor of Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam should be in our hearts, vibrating such that when we interact with someone, even briefly or longly, either way, it should be something that will be a momentum for change for others. Otherwise, what good is just following Sunnah, introvert, in our own lives, in our own ways, and saying, I have no business in America. Brothers and sisters, whether you accept it or not, you are da'is of Allah on this earth. Because the day you applied, there were hundreds, if not thousands of people who also applied, but their visas and their green cards and their immigration may have been rejected. Or one or another reason happened. They couldn't make it here. The fact that you made it here, yes, it shows about your intention to come here, but you did not come here only on your will. For our aqidah of Ahl Sunnah al Jama'ah is what? That nothing happens without the will of Allah. Allah willed it for you to come here, hence you came here, and your next generation is growing here, hence you build a masjid, hence you build the madaris and madrasa, and hence you build all other things to survive and have a community and have a society. But what is the purpose, the bottom line, the underlying principle for all these institutions that we build here? To make our progeny, our offspring, our next generation, the emblems of La ilaha illallah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Our next generation and generations to come, we will be gone very soon. How many of us have buried our loved ones in this cemetery right here on 33 so many times? We pray janazah in this masjid or any masjid. So many times we hear about funerals. Our time is next. It's coming soon. We'll be gone. But 50 years from now, 100 years from now, Allah knows best when Qiyamah will come. This masjid will still be there. This generation will continue to come, and every generation will say that my forefathers, my ancestors who came here, they taught us, and they taught us good. To be on the sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah said, "Man ahabbani faqad ata'ani." Whoever loves me, he follows me. ومن أطاعني فقد دخل الجنة أو كما قال في رواية فقد كان معي في يوم القيامة. Rasul is saying, whoever loves me obeys me, whoever obeys me enters Jannah, or whoever obeys me is with me on يوم القيامة. المعية مع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم. This معية in Arabic we say companionship with. You know when you go somewhere and they say, who are you with? I'm with my family, I'm with my parents, with معية. You spend a lot of time with your family, your wife, your husband, your kids, your parents. Just visualize for a second. You're spending time with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're standing there and your Nabi Muhammad sallallahu is right there next to you. You hug him, you kiss him, you shake hands with him, and you are there with him, embracing him. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. ومن يطع الله والرسول فأولئك مع الذين أنعم الله عليهم من النبيين والصديقين والشهداء والصالحين وحسن أولئك رفيقا. Those who obey Prophet Muhammad sallallahu and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there are those with the prophets, Anbiya, and the Siddiqeen, the truthful people, والشهداء, and the martyrs, and Salihin, and the righteous people. And I conclude with this hadith of Rasulullah. You know, you may have heard this many times in many riwayat you've heard, that the prime time, the prime thing on Yawm al-Qiyamah is drinking from the blessed ponds of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu Hawd al-Kawthar. Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar fasalli li rabbika wanhar inna shani'aka wal-abtar. We gave you Kawthar, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu. And there are numerous riwayat hadiths about that. visualization, the graphic image. Just imagine you're standing in a line, and this line you're standing is not for applying for passports, it's not for applying for driver's license, it's not for applying for any license or any permission or any application. You're in a line to drink from the blessed well of Kauthar, and from none other vessel or none other glass or jug or bottle, but directly from the palms of Rasulullah. Just close your eyes for a second and visualize that moment, that graphic imagery. Your beloved lips and those beloved palms, and you're so close, and you drink shurbatan hani'an mari'a. People die for this event to come. People are restless to have and experience this. But remember one thing, my dear brothers and sisters, not everyone will get to drink from the blessed palms of Rasulullah. As the hadith tells us, people are waiting in line. Next person comes. Next person comes. Each one is drinking. As the riwayah tells us, the next person's time comes and next, and you're about to take that first step. You're about to make that first move. You see the blessed hands of Rasulullah. You see him in front of you. You're so close, ever close to your mission, your objective of life. But two angels descend, huge. They grab you from both hands, one from the right, one from the left. And they snatch you away, just like an eagle comes with her talons and snatches her prey from the ground, from the earth. She is looking, the eagle, from thousands of miles away or hundreds of miles foot away, and sees the prey, coming down, scorching, and snatches away. The angels snatch the beloved of Prophet Muhammad away. And he says, Ummati, Ummati, oh my angels, ya malaika, this is my Ummati, bring. And the angels will say, Kalla ya Rasulullah sallam. Innaka la ta'rif, as the riwayah says, you do not know what did they do with your sunnah after you left the world. I hope none of us is one of those people who are snatched away and taken aback, and we are mahroom, deprived from the biggest gift of our life. Shurbatan haniya min hawd al-Kawthar. May Allah make all of us from them and minhum. اللهم اجعلنا جميعا منهم ومعهم يا رسول يا الله يا رحمن الرحيم. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر لكم والسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم التائب من الذنب كمن لا ذنب. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على الكريم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن سن بسنة الدين أما بعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, our love of Rasulullah is only good as much as our akhlaq, our character. And we are the da'is of Rasulullah, as he said, بَلِّغُ عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةٍ. You don't have to be part of any group or jama'ah to give da'wah. Every day you should ask yourself, how many people have I touched? How many people have I inspired? How many people have I motivated? How many people have I really infused in them the hope of Rasulullah? You see, these non-Muslims, when they do all this fear-mongering and hate-mongering and all this maligning and tarnishing of the imagery of Rasulullah, calling him all kinds of bad names, and you know what they do, cartoons and all that. They're doing this because of ignorance, but more so they're doing because of our own negligence, our own inability to carry out the sunnah of Rasulullah. If every one of these hate-mongers knew truly who a Muslim is, they would never hate Rasulullah. And that is what Rasulullah said, بَلِّغُ عَنِّي وَلَوْ آيَةٍ. Just one ayah. You don't have to be part of some jama'ah. Yes, if you are, that is good. But everybody should be thinking, I say that this is fard ayn, not fard kifayah. Salatul janazah is fard kifayah. There are few people who pray, fine, you are exempt from it. But giving da'wah to every other person in this country as long as you are alive is fard ayn, because there are a group of people doing, but there are many who are deprived. Many don't get to know and learn. Just yesterday, I was in Atlantic City at the New Jersey Teachers Convention on behalf of White Islam, giving da'wah. You'd be amazed how many teachers I met personally who just didn't know about Muhammad. Who is Muhammad? Is he some teacher? Yes, he's the teacher of mankind. In this time and age, with all this technology, with all this internet and social media, there are still people who are not aware of my and your Prophet Muhammad. Who's going to teach them? Who's going to reach out to them? And that is why every masjid and every imam and every institution should have a da'wah committee, should have a concerted effort, a group of brothers and sisters who do some solid work where they go out in their alaqa, in their place. See, a jama'ah, a group, only have limited resources, limited numbers. Not everybody can be here in Mount Junction. But the people living here in this vicinity, within this 10-mile radius or 5-mile radius of this masjid, these people will be questioned on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Yes, let that be very clear. We will be questioned. Did you inform about Allah to your neighbors? Did you inform about Allah to others? And wherever we go, whether we go to work, we go to school or college, we should always try in our conversations, in our dialogue. Da'wah is not just about handing somebody a Quran or handing somebody about a book of Islam or brochure. Da'wah is all about akhlaq, khuluq. And I end with this dua that Rasul used to make in his salah, especially in tahajjud. Rasul used to make this dua, and we should make this dua. Allahumma ahdini li ahsani al-akhlaq la yahdi li ahsaniha illa ant. وَاصْرِفْ عَنِّي سَيِّئَهَا لَا يَصْرِفُ عَنْهَا سَيِّئَهَا إِلَّا أَنْتَ. The translation of this dua is, Oh Allah, guide me to the best of akhlaq. Allahumma ahdini li ahsani al-akhlaq la yahdi li ahsaniha illa ant. No one can guide me to the best of akhlaq, Ya Allah, except you. Because if our akhlaq are correct, if our akhlaq, character and manners and etiquettes are good, automatically that will be a momentum of da'wah, momentum of change. And the dua goes on to say, وَاصْرِفْ عَنِّي سَيِّئَهَا. Each one of us has good akhlaq and bad akhlaq. So the dua is saying, Oh Allah, remove from me the bad akhlaq, remove from me the bad character, which no one can remove, Ya Allah, except you. If Allah listens to this one dua, it's like a domino effect. It will bring about a revolution in your life, in our lives. We will be so changed and different that people will start getting touched and inspired and changed. So we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahumma ahdina li ahsani al-akhlaq. لا يهدي لأحسنها إلا أنت يا رب العالمين. واصرف عنا سيء الأخلاق لا يصرف عنا سيء الأخلاق إلا أنت يا رسول يا الله يا رحمن يا رحيم. اللهم اغفر للمسلمين والمسلمات المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك أنت سميع مجيب دعوات. عباد الله رحمكم الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم وتذكرون وأقم الصلاة.